Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Habiwebinar. Today's topic is what is banking? I'm Jacob, and I'm happy to be your host for today's session. And now we're going to start with a fun and easy activity. This activity will serve as a warm-up, meaning it's going to prepare us for our topic. In this activity, you will listen to 3 audio clips. And these audio clips give information about the use of traditional and digital banks. You will have to try to understand what is being said. You may have to play the audio clips several times to understand what is being said. Once you think you understand, you will be presented with 3 options, and you will have to choose the correct option. Okay, so let's give it a try and let's see if you can find the right answers. Now, let us make sure you understood everything from the audio clips. Let's begin with this one we have on screen. I'm going to read it first slowly, and then you will have a chance to repeat after me. Today, I learned something new. I read an online article that says that in the United States, 83% of people prefer using regular banks. Can you believe it? I was really surprised because I thought only about 20% would say that. Good job. Okay, so let's make sure you know how this is pronounced. We are going to pronounce this as percent. Percent. And the expression thought, we are not going to pronounce this GH sound. We are not going to pronounce it. We're just going to say thought. Well done. Okay. And this word is the past tense of the verb think. Okay. So this person read an online article and learned something new. And this person is sharing with us the statistics that learned after reading this article. Now, there's more. Let's read it together. Also, did you know that 36% of people, repeat after me, only use traditional banks? That's a big number. It seems that some people prefer doing just one transaction in person instead of 20 online. Because they feel more secure that way. Okay, so a traditional bank, it's referring to a bank where you go in person. Okay, a physical location. That's a traditional bank. And this person is explaining that people feel more secure going to a bank in person because some people are afraid of technology. That's why they prefer going to the bank in person. Okay, now let's continue with the last part. Repeat after me. And there's more. Before I read the article, I thought maybe 40 or 30% of people would use a digital-only bank. But the study says that only 10% said they use a bank with no physical location. Okay? So, now for this part, when it refers to a digital-only bank, it's talking about a bank that has no physical locations. This kind of banks you can access only by means of your phone, your tablet, or your computer. Well, if you were able to understand everything, congratulations. Now, let's continue learning more. So, I hope you're ready to explore the world of traditional banking with us. Today, we're going to discover the essential English language skills needed for traditional banking. Let us read together the objective of this webinar. As you can see, is to help you express traditional banking activities. You will learn key vocabulary phrases for basic transactions like depositing, withdrawing, and other simple financial operations. You will also understand interactions with bank personnel. So, as you can see, our focus is going to be with traditional banking. We are not going to talk about internet banking. And how are we going to reach this objective? Well, first of all, we're going to learn vocabulary that is necessary to express the interactions in banking. Yes, our focus is going to be first on vocabulary. And what are we going to do next? Well, then we will listen to short stories that will give us the opportunity to practice. To practice what? Well, to practice the vocabulary that we learned in the first part. So, are you ready? First, let's answer what is banking. Banking refers to the system of financial services provided by banks and other financial institutions. It involves activities such as depositing money, withdrawing money, borrowing funds, and managing financial transactions. Banking institutions offer various products and services to individuals, businesses, and governments to help them manage their finances effectively. So, we can say that any financial operation where a bank is involved can be called banking. As mentioned before, you are going to learn vocabulary to express yourself when referring to financial operations. We're going to learn some vocabulary using this activity to find out some terms that are used to express financial operations in a bank. As you can see, here we have the Spanish terms, and now we have to type here, how can we say the same thing in English? So let's check the hint that we have here. And the hint that we have, it's that this word that we're looking for, it's a word similar to the verb tell. Do you know what word is that? Well, that would be the word teller. A teller, it's a person that works at a bank and help you to do your financial operations there. Okay, so teller, that's the pronunciation. Now, how do we call the standard of money that it's used within a country? Well, let's check the hint. Here it says that it's a word similar to current. Okay, so it's similar to current. Maybe you know this English word. Well, the word that we use here, it's very similar. You know what word are we looking for? That's right. We're going to need the word currency. And what about for this one? Let's check the hint. The hint says that this word begins with letter C. Okay, so the word that we're looking for is coins. What about this one? Let's check the hint. Here we have the following hint. Automated teller machine. Automated teller machine. So the word that we're looking for, it's an acronym for this name. That's right. We call this machine an ATM. Great. Now, what about this one? Let's check the hint. Here, the hint says that we should be careful with the pronunciation. Why? Because the way we write it in English is the same way that we would use in Spanish. But we should be careful because the word that we use in Spanish is cheap. But in English, we should say chip. Cheap, Spanish. Chip, English. Let us check the hint that we have for this term. Switch the order of the words. Okay, so we should begin with this word and then we're going to translate this other word. The result would be debit card. Okay, debit card. And again, be careful with the pronunciation. In Spanish, we say debito, E, E. But here, we're not going to say debit. We're going to say debit. Debit card. That's right. Let's continue. This one, it's not so difficult. Let's check the hint. The hint says that we should remove one letter. Yes, and that letter that we're going to remove, it's the last one. Because in English, we're going to call this a deposit. Deposit, okay? And what about this one? Well, for this one, it should be written like this, but when we pronounce this word, we are not going to pronounce letter P. So we're going to say receipt. Receipt. Okay. Now, what do we have here? Let's check the hint. It says, remember the verb sign. Okay, so The term in English, it's this one. And it's similar to the word sign, okay? The verb to sign something, but in this case, we're not going to pronounce sign. We're going to pronounce signature, okay? This letter T will not have a T sound. Listen again, signature. What else do we have here? Well, this one is a bit difficult. Let's check the hint. The verb is withdraw. So how are we going to call this action? Okay, the verb is withdraw and the noun would be withdrawal. Okay, withdrawal. Let's check the hint for this one. It's a 5-letter word. Do you know what word is it? Bills. Okay, bills. It's not bills, it's bills. Good job. Now, this is the last word. And the hint says, remove one letter. Yes, we're going to remove one letter and we're going to change another letter. So in English, we're going to say check. And that's it. Congratulations, we have finished learning vocabulary. Now, we are going to put into practice what we just learned. Are you ready? First of all, you will hear a girl talking about how happy she is after going to the bank. Listen well to her story.
So yesterday, my mom and I went to the bank. We walked in, and there was this big machine called an ATM. Mom used her debit card to withdraw some cash, and I was like, wow, that's so easy. But what I was really excited about was depositing all the coins I saved in a jar. It felt awesome seeing those coins turn into real money in my account. And guess what? The teller even gave me a receipt with her signature on it.
Some kids get really excited when they deposit their money in the bank. Did you understand what the girl said? You will have one more chance. This time, you will have the text as a reference. After listening to the story one more time, you will have the chance to prove that you really understood.
So yesterday, my mom and I went to the bank. We walked in, and there was this big machine called an ATM. Mom used her debit card to withdraw some cash, and I was like, wow, that's so easy. But what I was really excited about was depositing all the coins I saved in a jar. It felt awesome seeing those coins turn into real money in my account. And guess what? The teller even gave me a receipt with her signature on it.
Next, you will see a text with some missing words. You just have to drag the words to fill in the gaps. This exercise will help you practice and reinforce what you just learned. Take your time and try to choose the correct words that best fit each gap. If you make some mistakes, don't worry. Just give it your best try. Ready? Let's get started. Let's continue now listening to a woman that works as a teller. She will explain what she does at the bank and also why she likes her job.
So, let me tell you about my job as a teller at the bank. I really enjoy helping people, especially the elderly who sometimes find banking a bit confusing. Every day, I assist them with their transactions, like depositing money or cashing checks. Some of them are still getting used to using their debit cards or understanding how the ATM works. So I patiently explain the process to them, step by step. Helping the elderly with their banking makes me feel good.
Now, let's listen to the audio clip one more time. This time, we will use the text as a reference.
So, let me tell you about my job as a teller at the bank. I really enjoy helping people, especially the elderly who sometimes find banking a bit confusing. Every day, I assist them with their transactions, like depositing money or cashing checks. Some of them are still getting used to using their debit cards or understanding how the ATM works. So I patiently explain the process to them, step by step. Helping the elderly with their banking makes me feel good.
Can you drag the words to fill the gaps?
Okay, so for the next part, we're going to give an explanation of the terms that can be confusing. To get started, let's analyze this word, amount. So the teller wants to know the amount this person wants to deposit. In this case, the answer is $2,000. So when it's talking about the amount, it wants to know how much money. In Spanish, we would say cantidad. Then we have the verb swipe. The teller says, "Let me just swipe your card to process the deposit." What does swipe mean? When you have a card and you slide it through a machine, that is called swiping. It means to move something quickly and smoothly through a narrow space. And now let's analyze this other word, input. The teller said, "Let me just input the withdrawal amount into the system." Input is a word to express that you are writing on the keyboard, you're typing something, or you are touching a screen to add information. In this case, the teller was about to enter the amount information into the system. That's the meaning of input, adding information, writing on something like a keyboard or a touch screen. And that's it. If you want to learn more, you can watch this webinar again to practice all the terms and pronunciation that you learned. Don't worry about making mistakes. It's all part of the process. We have analyzed 3 different conversations and we have done some exercises to practice all the terms that we learned today.
To finish our webinar, we're going to do a review. Don't worry, this will not be difficult. To begin with, we're going to read some sentences. Let's begin with the first one. Let's read it together. Please withdraw cash from on Maple Street. What word is missing? That's right. It's the word for the machine that allows you to withdraw cash. We're talking about an ATM. The full sentence would be, please withdraw cash from the ATM on Maple Street. Next one. Mary is training to become at Santander. Which word is missing? Yes, a person that works at a bank helping others to do their transactions is called a teller. Then the full sentence would be, Mary is training to become a teller at Santander. Next sentence. The vending machine only accepts for payment. What is a vending machine? A vending machine dispenses items such as snacks, drinks, or some other products. So at times, there are not many options for payment. In this case, we can have two words that would fit here. Yes, we can add the word bills or maybe coins. It depends. Some vending machines only accept bills or some others accept coins. Of course, some other machines accept both. For this instance, we're going to use the word coins. The vending machine only accepts coins for payment. Next one. When traveling to other country, it's important to obtain the local. That's right, the local currency. Yes. When traveling to other country, it's important to obtain the local currency. If you don't have the local money, it will be difficult for you to do some transactions. The maximum limit per day at this ATM is $500. As you know, when you want to get money from an ATM, there's a limit. So, which word is missing here? Withdrawal. The full sentence would be, the maximum withdrawal limit per day at this ATM is $500. Let's continue. The cashier handed me my change in coins and small. A cashier is someone that works at a store or at a restaurant or other kind of business, and this person receives payments and do other kind of transactions with the customers. So, the missing word here would be, that's right, bills. The cashier handed me my change in coins and small bills. Next sentence. Don't forget to ask for a after making your purchase. Okay, a purchase, it's the action of buying something. Okay, so when you buy a product, it's important to receive a document that proves that you bought the product. This document would be called a receipt. That's right. Don't forget to ask for a receipt after making your purchase. And the last sentence. The contract is not valid without the... Do you know what word is missing here? Yes, something that you put right at the end of a contract. A signature. The full sentence then would be, the contract is not valid without the signature. Great job! Now, you know the basic vocabulary to perform transactions at a bank. Maybe you found some information difficult to understand, but don't worry. You have the chance to go back and review the webinar. Doing the exercises again, it's a great way to practice. And there's more. There is a final conversation for you to listen, and then you will have a chance to prove how much you understood. In conclusion, we have learned important vocabulary related to banking transactions. By understanding these words, you will be able to understand banking situations in English. Remember to practice using these new words in your everyday conversations and interactions. You can also review the materials to reinforce your learning. Keep practicing, and you'll master these banking terms in no time. Thank you all for joining this Habiwebinar. We hope you found it helpful.